Okay, so let's move on to problem number 2. Okay, once again, we have some comparative analysis, this time between Apple and Google. And it looks like we're going to do the same thing, which is a return on assets. Determining current year expense. So we can do the same thing. Let's go ahead and pull up another tab. Let's copy what we can. See if we can copy everything here. Current year, prior year. We'll copy that. For those of you that are curious, that was a Control C. I don't show everything I do on the deal, but that's not going to work. It looks like it's not going to copy this over. Let's try one more way and see if it does it. Let's just pull this bottom part without the headers. Copy that. And let's paste the values. Yeah, it didn't work very well. So we're just going to key it all in. Okay, it'll be a little easier. Okay, so make it bigger so everybody can see. Liabilities. Net income. This is liabilities plus equity and revenues. Now we can do kind of a quick little calculation also, because we know it's going to be looking for expenses. And we also know it's going to be doing a return on assets. Okay, so we know, let's add one more row in here. This is going to be Apple. This is current. This is prior. And then we're going to do Google. And it's going to be current and prior. Okay. So now we know on this one's 365, 725, 59, 531. Revenue is 265, 595. Now we can do this math already. Expenses is going to be actually the opposite. It's going to be revenues minus net income. That'll give us expenses. And let's see, prior year 375, 319, 48, 351, and 229, 234. So now we can copy this formula over to that thing. I do use keystrokes a lot, so you're gonna have to get used to that. That's a Control C. You can do Control V or just an enter and do that right there. And then ROI, our return on assets, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do net income for the year divided by, we're gonna take the average of current year assets, which is the same as equity plus liability, and liabilities plus equity, and the prior. So we're going to add those together, divide them by 2. So this section of the formula is the average, and this is the net income. So we can do that, and then we can make it a percentage and roll it to 1 decimal point. Okay. And why don't we just make this a little easier to read? We'll do that. Okay. So now we have return on assets for this one. So now all we got to do is we can actually take these, and I'll use my right clicker, and I will copy this, and I will paste it over here, right? I will paste, I'll just paste the whole thing. Oh, they only did formulas, did it? Nope. Oh yeah, because there's no data in there yet. Okay, so now we can go over here, key in the information, do the same thing. Now that it'll populate, so 232, 792, 3736, and 136, 189. And we're going to put in the prior, which is 197, 295, 12, 662, and 110855. Okay, so now we should have all the information we need to fill out number 2. So if we come down here, total assets for Apple and Google, total assets is going to be liabilities plus equity. So this is going to be 365, 725. Google is going to, and this is current year, right? Yep, current year. So 232, 792. Okay. Then we're going to go to requirement number 2. What is the return on assets current year? Round your percentage to 1 decimal place. So this is going to be 16.1, and this is going to be 14.3. We're going to go to number 3. What is current year expenses? Is 206,064 and 105,453. And is the current year return on assets better than 10%? So the answer is yes on both of these, better, because they're at 16.1 and 14.3, better. And then last one, relying only on return on assets, would we invest in Google or Apple? So better return on assets on Apple because it's better, 16.1% is better than 14.3. So I would say Apple. With that all done, I'm going to check my work. By the way, this is a great example of how to do your presentations if that's the way you're going to do it. So that one's right, correct, 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 and correct. All done. Okay, so let me pause there, and then we will come back and do number 3.